Welcome. This is a portion of a 2-hour conversation that took place in June of 2019 after the NRA national meetings. A conversation about NRA with Mac from Military Arms Channel, Jeff Knox from Firearms Coalition, Rob Pincus from I.C.E and 2AO, Shawn from We Like Shooting, and Jared from Guns and Gadgets. Together, we talked about the current state of the NRA, where it's going, and what we can do. Links to each of the participants and the full 2-hour conversation are available below. Are you guys just not aware of 16 or 4D chess? Because what about the knife thing that just happened in New York? Maybe this is all part of it.
That there is something to that, and this is one of the things for anybody in the industry, anybody in the political sphere, is that it's dangerous to be on the wrong side. It can be dangerous to their business and their activities to be on the wrong side of a fight. When in 1982, they came to Dad and they said, you need to shut down this attack on the BATF. This is a Republican administration, and they're now a Republican bureau, and you need to back off. You're pissing off our Republican friends. And Dad said, well, if I'm pissing them off, they're on the wrong side. But you get that all the way down the thing. It's like working on a little radio station, and you depend on local advertisers, and you want to do a spot on the radio or do an interview with somebody who, internal air pollution. And so the local carpet company comes to you and says, hey, no, I'm not going to advertise with you anymore if you let this guy who says that chemicals in carpet are killing people. And so suddenly you don't get to do that interview. It's the same kind of thing all the way up the chain. It's who's feeding who, and where is the power, and where do their loyalties lie in all of that. I don't think that Todd is doing it to protect his own butt. I think that he drank the Kool-Aid several years ago and has been drinking the Kool-Aid and sticking with the power. That's my evaluation of the situation.
Yeah, very much like what you just said. I talk about this in a lot of our closed groups for listeners and things like that. And the topic of this came up, and someone said, how do these people get to where they are, and how do they get to how they are? And I said, well, do you guys trust me? Do you think that I have, morals and ethics, and that I would be safe in a position like that? And they say yes. And I say, well, I disagree with you, because here's the thing: you get on the board, and for me, I own the Firearms Radio Network and do a lot of podcasts and things like that. You meet someone on the board and they say, hey, I've got a radio station. How would you feel about kind of expanding and going into terrestrial radio or something like that? And I say, yeah, that sounds pretty great. What do I have to do that? Oh, nothing, man. I want to support the people that I'm here with. It's all great. And then someday that same person comes to me and says, hey, Alan West is going to run, or he's going to oppose Wayne LaPierre for the EVP vote. And we need you not to vote for that, or we need you to sit down. We need you not to object. And I say, I just can't do that. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to make changes. And they say, well, it would be a shame if you were no longer on radios across the country. That would be awful for you. And then I sit there and I think, well, how do I sacrifice the things that I have gotten from those things? It can happen to anybody. Like,
right.
Like I said earlier, corruptness, that is a very specific situation that I could totally see.
And that suggests like you're going to get like this big bag of money, and the guy's going to roll his mustache and you're going to giggle. But if you create infrastructure and there's dependence on an income thing, and then they're like, hey, all these people that are employed by you really want them employed still?
Yeah, and it's so easy, and it's just small things like that. They take a little bit at a time until you're just so far into something that you can no longer get out. And I think that's, like I said earlier, politics, anyone who wants to be in politics shouldn't be allowed to be. It should be duty and service and severe term limits outside of that.
Yeah, it's typical in any big business that's lost its way. It's the exact way it happens.
This is a portion of a 2-hour conversation that took place in June of 2019 after the NRA national meetings. A conversation about NRA with Mac from Military Arms Channel, Jeff Knox from Firearms Coalition, Rob Pincus from I.C.E and 2AO, Shawn from We Like Shooting, and Jared from Guns and Gadgets. Together, we talked about the current state of the NRA, where it's going, and what we can do. Links to each of the participants and the full 2-hour conversation are available below.